evening. Welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Muslim faithful the world over celebrate Eid al-Kabir, the festival of sacrifice, which symbolizes Prophet Ibrahim's obedience to God over 2,000 years ago. President Muhammadu Buhari, in company of visiting Guinean President Alpha Condé, joins others to pray in Daura as he restates his resolve to fight corruption to a standstill. Daura Emirate in Katsina organizes a special durbar in honor of visiting President of Guinea Alpha Condé. And Norwegian police to investigate the shooting at Al Noor Islamic Center as terror act. It's Eid al-Kabir, and Muslims around the world celebrate the occasion with prayers marking the end of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Eid al-Kabir, also known as the Festival of the Sacrifice, marked by Muslims with thanksgiving and animal sacrifice, commemorates the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to follow Allah's command to sacrifice his son. Here in Nigeria, Muslim faithful also join the rest of the world to commemorate the day. In Daura, Katsina State, President Muhammadu Buhari, in company of the visiting President of Guinea, Alpha Condé, joined other Muslim worshippers to offer the 2 rakat prayers marking the celebration. The president reiterated his resolve to fight corruption in Nigeria to a standstill. Our correspondent, Ibrahim Adra, reports.
Muslim worshippers in Daura trooped out early in the day, taking up every available space at the Eid ground. Security has been beefed up. Then, the mayor of Daura arrived in a colorful procession. President Muhammadu Buhari is next to arrive in company of President Alpha Condé of Guinea. They took their position for the 2 rakat prayers. In his sermon, the chief imam prayed for the president and the country. President Buhari ceded his rights to slaughter his ram to President Condé. The president returned home and wished Nigerians a happy celebration while restating his position on war against graft.
When I came in uniform much younger, I arrested people and put them in detention and said they are guilty until they can prove themselves innocent. And we put an investigative panel almost based on the geopolitics of the country. And the governors, the ministers then who were found not accountable, they were made to return to the government. But in the end, I too was arrested and detained. But this time around, we made sure that we introduce Treasury single account. Whichever money is driven is put there, and then it's going out will be watched by the Attorney General and the Accountant General of the Federation. So we are doing our best within the system, and we are remaining steadfast.
First to visit the president at home are youth corps members serving in Daura. President Buhari is happy with the visit and says why the NYC scheme initiated in 1973 is dear to his heart.
I normally meet with your leadership here, and I meet people from Lagos who never went up to Ibadan, but they come to the end of Nigeria. And some from Port Harcourt, some from Badagry, and all over the country. I think this is a great program so that practical experience will make you disabuse what people think about our plurality in terms of ethnicity and religion.
The meeting of Mr. President with members of the Youth Service Corps serving in Daura is an annual event that happens each Salah. Now, from the President's residence in Daura, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
And from the northern Nigeria, worshippers converged on different Eid grounds for special prayers to mark the occasion.
Worshippers are subjected to security screening before gaining entrance into the mosque, with security personnel on standby to forestall any breakdown of law and order.
We should be among those who will use our right hand to
One after the other, the worshippers arrived in their numbers looking colourfully dressed. Children are not left out as they tagged along. In Yola, the Adamawa state capital and Plateau state, worshippers tripped out early to observe the prayers under clement weather. Governor Omar Fintiri thanks Almighty God for another opportunity to be part of this year's ceremony, while the Secretary General of Jamaatul Nasir Islam and Chief Imam of Five Mosques, Sheikh Aliyu Khalid, advocates the need for the nation's leaders to ensure the protection of lives and property, which is the primary responsibility of the government.
I still urge us to peacefully coexist so that we could benefit from the social economic development we will have in the state.
I think we're passing through a trying moment of myriad of problems that bedevil our own country, which we assiduously and fervently pray to Allah the Exalted to provide relief.
The Kaduna State Governor and some other officials of the state also joined the other Muslim faithful for the special prayers. He admonishes Muslims to imbibe the spirit of tolerance and peaceful coexistence, just as the Nasarawa State Governor sues for peace and unity.
We should live in peace with fellow human beings. We should sacrifice and pay obedience to God.
Without peace, we can't achieve anything. That's why I always like to ask my brothers and sisters in Nasarawa State to imbibe the culture of peace and harmony.
In Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, the Deputy Governor and the Speaker of the State House of Assembly appealed to Nigerians to complement efforts of government at all levels to end security challenges witnessed in some parts of the country. Former military President General Ibrahim Babangida also used the occasion of the Eid al-Kabir to commend the leadership of the police and the army for their handling of the killings of policemen in Taraba state by some military men.
I'm calling on all Tarabans. We should continue to be our brothers' keepers. We should not kill one another.
What I was reading, I was quite happy. I read in the paper the leadership are taking action, the investigations to find out what happens.
The message of peace and religious tolerance resonates in Kano, Abuja and Gombe state as the Gombe governor calls for religious tolerance.
Violence is not part of Islam. Islam means peace, and many verses of the Quran, prove the fact that Allah is not God of violence.
I just urge people to be law-abiding and to continue to pray for the nation so that Allah will answer our prayers and take us out of the bondage that we, so to say, put ourselves in.
From Kwara to Sokoto and Kogi states, Muslims observe the Eid al-Kabir with morning prayers. The Chief of Staff, Government House, Aminu Logun, who stood in for the Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, reiterates the call for peaceful coexistence, while the Kogi State Governor warns against inciting statements. The Sultan of Sokoto, on his part, stressed the need for Nigerians to pray for their leaders.
Appeal to all Kwarans to join hands with this government so that we can deliver the dividend of democracy to them.
Please, give peace a chance. Don't incite the public. Don't incite the public against the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The high point of the ceremony is the traditional slaughtering of the sacrificial ram, signifying the sacrifice of Ishmael by Prophet Ibrahim.
Muslims across southern Nigeria also celebrating Eid al-Kabir, reflecting on the significance of the celebration and the state of the nation.
In Lagos, Muslim faithful attended the early morning prayers at different locations in the state. After the prayers, some of the personalities at the prayer ground seized the opportunity to reflect on the state of the nation.
This president I know and I have confidence in him. One. And no president, no leader of any nation, with community, we want is people killed, maimed, and attacked.
My message in Nigeria is for us to try and all live in peace and continue to pray, against all these banditry, herdsmen and whatever. But I think I know that these are challenging times, but we will overcome.
When we are young, I'm a Lagosian. I live in Lagos, and we don't know Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. We are all the same.
The main praying ground in Akure, the Ondo State capital, played host to Muslims who worshipped and prayed in line with the celebration. The Grand Imam of Akure Empire, Sheikh Abdul-Hakim Akurede, led the prayers, appealed to all Nigerians to work with the government in achieving desired results. The Ogun State Chief of Staff, Salisu Shuaib, the immediate past governor of the state, Senator Ibunkule Amosu, and the ministerial designate Olamileko Adegbite joined others at the Lantoro Central Praying Ground to observe the 2 Rakat prayers.
The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Abiodun, conveys his felicitations to all citizens of Ogun State, particularly the Muslim brothers. And he wants us to remember the attributes of Ibrahim. Ibrahim was one universal prophet. Ibrahim was universal prophet of the Jews, of the Christians, and the Muslims. And this is in tandem with the matter of this sanitation, building our future together.
We should all imbibe all the teachings of this Eid al-Kabir. It is total submission to the wish and will of the God Almighty.
In Cross River State, South Nigeria, the state governor, Professor Ben Ayade, used the occasion of Eid al-Kabir to call for peace and unity.
Through the instrumentality of good governance, Nigeria will see peace, will see unity, and those who seek for the dissolution of the unity, those who seek for a revolution, should please have a rethink.
In his Eid message, the Chief Imam of Benin Central Mosque called on government and other persons in position to consider social security as one of the ways of addressing the issue of insecurity in the nation. Governor Boyega Oyetola of Osun State wants Muslims to emulate the ideals of sacrifice demonstrated by Prophet Muhammad.
We should always continue to imbibe the lessons of the celebration, that you should have absolute faith in Almighty Allah.
The governor said this at the Eid ground in Osogbo shortly after his prayer.
In part 2, after the break, a board secretary of NASFAT, Imam Uthman Animashau, sheds more light on the essence of Eid al-Kabir celebration and its implications for the country's socio-economic challenges. Please stay with us.